there are a lot of people in this world that has opinions, but not many have actual knowledge or useful advice that is stemmed from wisdom. Hello there. To those of you who are returning, hello sinners, how are you? To those of you who are new, my name is Veruca Cyn, and I am a clothing designer, fashion designer, turned mystic, your sister from another mister, your spiritual advisor, and most importantly, I'm here to empower you. Now, before we get moving forward with our Get Ready With Me, I just want to say a quick thank you to everybody who has been finding my channel and subscribing. I appreciate you so much, and I am so grateful for all the love and support, and I look forward to continue building a relationship with you all moving forward. Now, if you like this look, continue watching. I want to talk to you guys today about money, my relationship with money. I'm going to be putting on contacts today. This is the brand I found that had the most affordable color contacts and the color I liked. I don't know how it's going to be like. It's going to be a part review / me putting on makeup today. It's from TTDEYE, and this is not sponsored or anything, no affiliate to it. I just saw it online and thought I would try it, and it came in this box. Very cute, right? So this is what it looks like inside. Came with a really cute contact box and tweezers. The actual contact lens itself. Hope you can see it. And a little compact mirror and some 90s butterfly stickers. I have not tried these on at all, so I have no idea what to expect. It says 2 pieces, 1 year soft contact lens, so it's gonna last for 1 year. And I bought these several months ago. Unless they mean it will last 1 year from when I open them. I don't think so though. Nope, it actually has an expiry date, 2024. 5th May 2024. What the fuck? Wait, this is 1 year. But here it says it'll expire 3 years from now. I'm just gonna use it with discretion. And if it doesn't feel comfortable anymore and it's way past 1 year, I can decide if I should throw it or not. So the contact color I bought is, oh my god, I don't know what I got. What's the color? Oh, here. Polar Lights Blue Gray. I don't know which one's which side. I did get them prescribed, like with prescription. One is negative 4.75 and one is -5. Now I need to refer to my contact lens box to see what my prescriptions are. Okay, my left eye is negative 5.00 and my right eye is negative 4.75. So my right eye is a little bit better. So my left eye is going to be the stronger one. Let's proceed to try and do that, shall we? I want to be listening to music while I do this. I always like to be listening to music. It won't be bothering you guys at all because I'll be wearing earbuds. It helps me think. I'm nervous. I should open this first. I legit forgot to buy my contact solution, so I should get that as soon as possible. Very pretty. Leave it to me to make a mess. Okay. I don't know if I want to try this method. I'm going to be really ghetto and pour the solution into this lens and keep it until I get a new one so I can clean out my lens. Oh my god, I sprayed on myself. It squeezed on me like when I open Jello packs as a kid. I worked. I'm a freaking genius. I wonder if I should try it with a stick. Okay, that's kind of cute. Okay, relatively comfortable. Yeah, just like my other contacts I had that were prescribed, color or no color, it has the same feeling. Usually there's some slight dust that goes into it before I put it on my eyes because I'm always struggling like that. It looks freaking amazing. Holy moly. Oh, and it's the correct prescription. I mean, even though I copied it, I wasn't sure how the... Let me close the window. I'm sorry for all the sound. But yeah, even though I copied this prescription, the existing prescription I had, I don't know if it would have turned out, you know, for all I knew, it would have been a major disaster. Because I'm no eye technician. There could have been a million things that could have gone wrong to my misunderstanding about contact lens prescriptions, but it turned out good. So make sure it's not inside out. It is inside out. Okay, now it's right. This actually makes putting on contact lenses so freaking easy. I don't know why I waited so long to try this. Sometimes air bubbles like to get trapped underneath the lens when I'm putting it on, and it's what pops it out as soon as I blink. Plus, I have astigmatism, so like my eyes are a little bit like football shaped. When I blink, it can pop it out easily. So I notice immediately the left side is higher than my right side. Let me reposition. Okay, it's better. But when I blink, it shifts a little bit, but then drops back down. One is a little higher and the other one's a little... Oh no. Okay, it looks good now. I'll need to tell myself that. Okay, I'm gonna start with concealer. This is Nars Light 3 Honey. It's more on the salmon side, but that's perfect because it color corrects at the same time as it hides my dark circles. So lately my relationship with money has been drastically shifting, and I've been learning a lot about money in ways I never learned or was educated in growing up. It's been really revolutionary, if I had to choose one word to describe that. If I were to give you one takeaway that I have gotten out of this journey so far with my learning and understanding about money, is that it's one of the main 4 pillars, if I were to count it like that. The main 4 pillars on the foundation of our lives and what makes our life and what makes the world go round. I feel like it's also one of the main pillars for what creates a functioning society, as well as what creates a functioning human being. Like, in order to be a part of this world, we need money to be able to operate and be involved in it. Otherwise, it's very hard, but that's already very obvious for you guys, but maybe, I don't know, I wouldn't assume. I'm gonna stop assuming, okay? Maybe for the very intelligent person, that's very obvious, but it may not be the most conscious thought that comes to our mind when we think about money, especially in the sense of how our relationship and our understanding with money also affects everything else we do in life. But on the flip side, if you flip the tables here, if you turn the tables here, how we feel about everything else in our life is also how we treat money, or how we approach money. And how we approach money based on how we view the world around us is equally as impactful, influential, and important to take a look at to second glance and reflect and double think, to double take, is just as crucial and as important as our relationship and how we perceive money and how we go about interacting with the rest of the world based on our relationship and how we think, feel, and understand about money as well. Does that make sense? So one is how the world shapes us, and this is how we approach money. Okay, I'm going to say it again. How the world shapes us and how we approach money. And the other one is how we feel about money. Therefore, this is how we approach the world. And both are just as important, if not their direct mirror reflection of one another. I like using this Bare Essentials Max Coverage Concealer Brush from like 10 million bajillion years ago. I don't know if this exists anymore because it has a plasticky type of tip. I don't know where my concealer brush went, but this is the plasticky one. Like, it doesn't absorb, and I like to use that to spread my concealer. I feel like I should be putting on concealer last. I should do eyeshadow first. I'm gonna go ahead and use Naughty by BH Cosmetics. This is one of my favorite palettes from them. I don't buy a lot of palettes, but I felt like this was a really good kit to just own. I threw away a lot of colorful shadows because they're like really old, and I thought this was a great replacement. Okay, I feel really dumb because after I cleanse the lens, the video looks 10 times sharper and more saturating better. So that meant there was dust inside it, and I never knew for like years. And I could have had better quality for you guys the whole time. Okay. It's okay, I'm learning. I'm sorry, I'm learning. It's getting better now, slowly. This is like a mocha brown, so I can play with this shade right here. I'm gonna take a fluffy brush, no angle brush, nothing. I'm gonna use Secret Santa. Yeah, okay, that's my nude right there. So, what I mean by depending on how your outlook about the world is like is how you spend your money, versus how you feel about money is how you will go about the world and how you view the world. So first thing that comes to my mind would be like, you don't have a lot of, example, okay, you don't have a lot of self-esteem, and you don't think you're really an intelligent person or a capable person, and you're rather shy around the idea of going out there and pursuing your desired interests in life, okay? This could be anything from career to relationships, friendships, what you choose to do with your pastime. And because of that, you might end up making choices that result in staying in more often, avoiding putting yourself in a situation where you have to feel awkward and socialize with other individuals, such as outside physical parties or meetings and gatherings. You would avoid people at all costs, maybe, if you're that extreme of an introvert. And your lifestyle naturally revolves around everything that has to do with being in the home. And things that you could possibly do in the home would mean to read, play video games, socialize primarily online, or if you're not even that social online, then you just kind of keep to yourself and you do a lot of things that have entertainment to do with, like solitary entertainment. So how does that reflect on money? That means that's where you will spend your money. Maybe The person wants to take ballet lessons or rock climbing, but they don't pursue that because they don't feel like they know anyone or have anyone to go with. So instead of putting their money into things like that on the outside world or in that direction, they put it into things like video games, books, movies, I don't know, action figures, whatever else you do when you're inside. Anything, possibly anything and everything, right? So that's where the money directs. So I'm not saying that's a bad or a good thing, that's just where it goes. I can only imagine, like, let's just say you are extroverted or whatever, okay? But your perspective is you prioritize clubbing and you like dancing and drinking a lot and smoking per se, and you love racing with race cars. Then therefore that's what you view in life as important, and therefore a reflection of that is that's where your time and your attention equals your money is where it's going to go as well. You're going to spend money on race cars or cars that can race. You're going to spend money on smokes, and you're going to spend money on alcohol to drink, and you're going to spend money going into parties and clubs. On the flip side, now we're just talking about how we view money instead. I think if we don't feel like we come from a place where we can easily get money, we would more so often be very cautious on how we spend it and what we think would be considered luxury and what is necessity. And it is good to be mindful like that, but I think there will come to a point where that sort of way of being will end up directly result in a way of affecting our mindset in the way of how we think. It influences. We allow our current situation and our relationship with money, which is we don't have a lot, to influence the way we think and feel about the world moving forward. Like it becomes a habit, and our habit is I don't have a lot, therefore I cannot do a lot. I need to spend all this money. Not all this money, I have to spend some money to eat and survive and pay the rent, and everything else I need to save for a rainy day, which is good, okay? That's something I'm learning about. But the trap I can see here is there is potential for us to ask why. And what I mean by that is at some point in our lives where we would, or ideally, if we were to grow as individuals, want more than just the bare minimum. And so the question of asking why or how we can, why do we have to stay like this? And if we don't want it that way, how can we change our circumstances so we can have more? And I think a lot of us are afraid to ask how because of our past traumas and our very rigid, set in stone beliefs about money. And that how and why is scary to expand on because it threatens our reality of what we understand about money, and also could take away, we fear illogically that it could take away what we already have. But that's not necessarily true, because I would imagine the way we bring in money and cultivate money is through an extensive knowledge or through a particular set of knowledge and skill that we obtain. And as long as we have the skill, we never can lose it unless we lose our memory. For a healthy individual who has their memory, you never can lose your skill set and your experience. And as long as you have this skill set and this experience, you can always earn this X amount of money. So it's just a matter of thinking, now that I want to earn more, what sort of skill sets and experiences that I need to obtain to have that money. At least that's what my personal realizations are for now. I'm going to move on to mold into the crease of my eyelid. It peeled off some of my foundation, but it's okay, I can reapply. So I'm not going to put, okay, see how my natural crease is here? but when I open my eyes it's so heavy, so I just put it with like my eye socket like that. And I'm gonna go into a darker shade now. The darker shade is Yuletide. Literally just start only in the lower half of my face, on my eyelids, and of course the lash. I like to do that and then blink, and wherever it reaches, I can afford to do a little higher than that because you don't see it when I open my eyes. This is where I take my concealer brush and I draw a line. I draw a sharp cut. I'm just winging everything, just so you know. I'm not a makeup artist, although I did aspire to become a makeup artist if I never was chosen to get into fashion college. It would have been makeup artist or hairstylist if I didn't get into fashion school. Dense packed brush, and I'm gonna go with this. Actually, I'm gonna go into these chestnuts. I can go bling. Let's go bling. This is my idea of natural, I suppose. I can't go too natural. Then I get bored. It's pretty natural. I mean, it's not that crazy compared to if I were to use pressed glitter eyeshadow primer, which I think works with the Bratz look. I mean, Bratz also is extra as fuck too, but this is like a semi-fluffy brush. I'm gonna dip into hot cocoa now. This brush that has excess left over of the mule shade. Oh, I saved it. Yes. So, and a person who sees things from an abundance place would probably take more risks and think in a bigger picture perspective because they are armed with more strategy and fallbacks, and they see the bigger picture of like, if this doesn't work out, I can do this and I can do this. They have options and they know their options. So it's not just having options, but also knowing your options that allowed for them to think from an abundance standpoint. And because they perceive money as an abundance standpoint, they therefore move and behave and act in the world from that. They don't feel restrained and limited to the amount of money they have or don't have with what they can or can't do. They are very solution oriented in that sense. My upbringing, I was taught that the things I wanted I couldn't have because we didn't have enough, instead of being taught how or inspired to think in the direction of how I could put myself in a position where I could have enough to get what I want. I think a lot of this had to do with the fear and the trauma we had as immigrants coming into Canada growing up, and the whole world was very foreign and didn't speak the language we are familiar with or were familiar with. So we kind of, instead of expanding and growing and venturing, we kind of reverted into keeping a bubble of our own world. Moving forward now, seeing where I am in life, I saw that how a lot of my views on money heavily impacted the things I would choose to do or not do with myself. But there's also something called money design. Like, designing your financial life is also a thing. And I explored or discovered a few of that coming into this world. In regards to an example, like growing up, I was told that steak was very expensive to eat, therefore we would never have it. And instead, we would have cheaper steak or just an abundance of chicken instead. But where money design comes into play would be, if I had known better at that time growing up, I would have suggested perhaps instead of buying a boatload of chicken to put into the freezer for a rainy day, which I mean, it's important, but like we bought a lot of chicken at times when we didn't need to. I think it's just the anxiety of not having enough. So maybe one paycheck's worth, instead of buying lots of chicken to store away, some of that money could be saved on the side to buy a nice slab of steak, and that would be seen as a treat every now and then, if that makes sense. And it wouldn't be a continual thing, because spending beyond your means is not going to be a way where you can sustain yourself, right? Things like that would start trickling into my mind, and I think that's a result of why a lot of people opt for fast fashion, because they want the gratification immediately and to follow the latest trend on a budget. But there's also a repercussion about fast fashion creating a lot of harm to the environment and our Mother Earth, versus saving a lot for a well-made design piece that was commissioned from a local designer for a lot more of the price, but it will last you for years to come, and it is a direct reflection of something that you love. You know, it's like in the fast fashion, they're cute, don't get me wrong, but they don't last, because when you wash them, they warp. They're not made to last. They're made to be thrown out, but they don't really decompose. So they kind of just fill up the garbage in the landfill. But I digress. I think I ended up doing this look instead. This one's by e.l.f. It's not waterproof, it's just jet black. I'm going to draw some of the eyeliner down and blend that out with eyeshadow. Alright, I'm back. Did my eyeliner. Ooh, satisfying. Oh. Ooh. I'm gonna use this Maybelline Fit Me. I've been reading 2 books lately, or I finished reading 1 book and I started a second one, and I think these 2 books would be really great for you guys to read and also look into as well, because I've only just recently began my journey with healing my money trauma. That's what I would call it. And the first book is called Money Manifestation Babe, How to Make Your First $1,000 in 21 Days, I believe. And let me tell you, that was the gateway of everything. Yes, if you want me to cut to the chase, I did manifest $1,000 within 21 days. It was crazy. Now, whether or not I was able to manifest again immediately after, no. And I'll tell you why. I had like a thought blockage, like a mindset blockage of, I thought it was a fluke. I went into self-sabotage mode, and I found it hard to believe that it was me that did that. So, but at the same time, I know that I can manifest. I've done before with everything that had nothing to do with finance. I can manifest with ease. I manifested a stove. I manifested a computer. I manifested laptops. I've manifested a lot of things. I've manifested relationships, opportunities, connections. And when it comes to money, it's hard. It's been hard because of my trauma to it. Yeah, so this book is a life changer. It's good shit, especially if you come from a more spiritual background, or you see things more abstractly like I do. I would say I'm a practical person, but at the same time, I also really like to see the theoretical thought concept to something before I find it sound to do. And that person that asks you why, if you were to say, so and so is the truth, I'll be like, why is that the truth? And if the best answer you could give me is because they say so, or that's what people say, or that's just the way it is, that ain't gonna cut it for me. That's not a good enough answer for me. So I highly recommend it for you to check that book out. It's not really a read through, it's more so an activity book where each chapter for each day has a lesson for you, and it teaches you that lesson, and it literally requires for you to apply immediately right after, same day. It was definitely a lot harder for me. I couldn't complete the whole thing within 21 days. I believe I completed it within the span of a month. I think a month or month and a half. But I did manifest within 21 days. I believe, yeah. I remember the time I started and I journaled, and the time I got the money was within the 21-day mark. But completing it for the rest moving forward was hard, because there's a lot of things that really ask for you to dig in deep to look into yourself that we often find hard to see within ourselves, especially when it comes to money. So that, I recommend that book. I think these contacts, because they're blue-gray, at first they're not much to look at because it's just subtle in terms of the color. It's not like, and what I mean by that is, like, I think I tend to be really trying to do flashy things, but this is a subtle, like, blue-gray, you know, and it doesn't take full effect until, like, you put on the makeup, you put on the full look. And that's when the eye makeup and the eyes pop, and it looks so bomb. Like, it looks really cool, to be honest. It covers my really dark brown eyes perfectly. It would be a lot smoother of a blend if I had primer on, but it's okay. I forgot. The second book that I recommend, that I'm currently reading, is called You Were Born Rich. So far, it's taught me a lot of insight on understanding the foundational hierarchy of how money runs in the world, and how the types of people that fall under the three types of relationship that people have, that they fall under this category when it comes to money. I'll give you a little snippet, okay? You should really check out this book. It's really good. It's written by somebody who is actually a financial advisor. Like, they know a lot about insurance and how the banking system works, so they give you a lot of insight about money. So it's really so far, it's not an intimidating read, and anything I don't understand, I can just Google and do further extensive research. There are three types of people. There are three types of subcategories with the relationship that people have when it comes to money. Is the first one is the people who are in debt. So that means they live way beyond their means. The second one is people who are getting by. So they're like breaking even. They're making enough to pay for their immediate expenses and their needs, but they don't really have enough left over to save for a future, for a rainy day. And then there are people who are in a surplus. The surplus is already given. We already know what surplus is. That was a really big eye-opener to me because I've never really given money a lot of thought. Not because I didn't care about money, nor was I wanting to be stupid or ignorant and left in the dark on purpose. I honestly didn't think about it because the idea and the topic of money, when mentioned, brought a negative feeling to me, and I think I shunned it away because of that. Naturally, we don't want to talk about things that don't make us feel good, and for a long time, from my childhood growing up, it was so natural to just be like, oh, money is bad, don't talk about money. Money breaks people up. Money is the reason for why people get divorced. Money is the reason why people get used. Money is the reason why there is something called burning brides. Money is why, young beautiful ladies get married to rich old men. Like, there's so much things when it comes to money that was really, I associate with personal, like, bad experiences that made me shut down from wanting to understand money in a deeper level. And as a consequence, I ended up rejecting the opportunity, and I literally indirectly said no to refusing to develop a personal one-on-one relationship with money instead, and redefining what money means to me and how I choose to work with money moving forward. Next, I'm going to use Nyx Wonder Stick. I like their cream highlighter. I don't really use their highlighter. I like their cream shadow because, I don't know, I like it. It matches my skin tone nicely, but I would like to explore going into powdered, what is this called? Contour. And I'm gonna blend. This one's so old. This is called Marvelous by Revlon. A very fluffy brush. Actually, no. I'm taking a fluffy angled brush and I'm going to contour with this blush. And I'm going to dip my angled brush into tears and I'm gonna highlight. With my pinky. Just these two areas. Put some on my brows up here. Put some on my chin. Both these books have really started me on the journey of having a healthier confrontation or healthier relationship with money, and it really got me into diving into shadow work when it comes to my relationship with abundance, what abundance means to me, and how I feel about receiving abundance, and in this case, receiving financial abundance. I think it also didn't help that during the time that I had this lack-based mindset, the people I ended up attracting and cultivating in my life were people who shared similar thought frames as me, and so they only reinforced my beliefs, if anything. And it wasn't until I started going to college that I was exploring more of a creative field, and I was aspiring to meet other creative people, that I realized that, well, indirectly, I met people who didn't necessarily come from a lack-based mindset. So that was what started opening the gateway to me, my relationship with money. I'm gonna take a flat brush with like a very sharp flat edge, and I'm gonna use NYX eyebrow gel in it's waterproof, and this one color is called black. I was really conservative with it at first because I thought I would use it really fast, but I still have so much left over. I've barely touched anything, so I can afford to be a bit more liberal with it. See, that's what I mean by like, oh, I might use it all, because that's what I grew up with. Oh, be careful, you might not have any more left over, or save your clothes and wear the nice clothes on a special occasion only, or you have nothing nice left to wear when it matters. I'm not saying that that's not true, but at the same time, when have I ever witnessed my parents wear nice things to any special occasions aside from family parties? Like, I don't know. Nowadays there's so many things available, like sales and thrift shops, that nice clothes isn't just available in expensive stores, or you know, nice clothes doesn't always necessarily mean expensive clothes. Well-made clothes also doesn't necessarily translate into expensive either. Sometimes some things are glamour priced, some things are overpriced, and they're not. They're priced at that way because of perceived value, not necessarily because of the actual value. Okay, I think that's good. I don't know if my brows are too aggro. No, it's good. I don't have any brows, that's why I'm like, am I drawing too much? I'm still drawing kind of semi-straight brows instead of bitchy brows, because I don't think bitchy brows look good on me. My face is already really round. I mean, her brows are not really, well, they're kind of arched. I really like these brows. I really need to shave this part off. I'm gonna go in with mold first. No, Yuletide, sorry. Gently. And I'm gonna raise this shadow up. Oh, it's a little dark. A little dark there. I'm gonna skirt it up higher like this, see? I'll just take a floofy brush and I will blend it out right now. Bringing that down, Yuletide, just a little bit. Okay, so I have a lip liner called, I always wanted a nude color lip liner, like my nude, and this one's 300 Spice by Annabelle. Uh-oh. Literally just outside. This one is called Lip Lingerie by NYX. I love NYX, as you can tell. It's really good. NYX Lingerie Ruffle Trim. Liply 01, that's what it says. Lipli. Oh, sorry, 04. Ruffle Trim, that's my lip nude color. Perfect. It's a trick I've actually never tried. I'm gonna try now. I'm gonna take a really fine tipped brush and I'm gonna dip into Secret Santa, and I'm gonna treat that as contour. So it looks like shadow. Secret Santa and a little bit of hot cocoa, just for a little bit, right underneath. You see that? Ooh, dimensions. Is there anything else I want to share about money? Eyelash container. Look at that. Finishes the look like freaking cherry on top of a sundae. Oh, it's raining outside. Whoa, these eye color, this contact though, with my makeup brats look, is doing something. It's doing something. I'm going to spray to set. Oh fuck, the spray is shitty. Instead, I'm spraying indirectly so it lands on my face like that. That way it doesn't make it as splotchy as it is already. Putting spray melts the whole look down and it blends everything together. That's better. Oh, it's hot. Okay. Oh, I wish I had heat gloves. The clip for this iron broke off, in case you're wondering why it looks like this. Here's to somebody who uses something until it breaks. I would never buy anything new until it no longer functions. I'm that kind of person. I wouldn't necessarily get a new phone just because a new phone is out. I'll get a new phone because my current phone died and stopped working. Oh, this is gorgeous. I haven't had curls in so long. So, my relationship with money also affected me to the point where I put it on a pedestal and I didn't think I deserved money, or at least I didn't deserve a lot of it, and asking for more made me really uncomfortable because I suppose asking as a kid, anytime I wanted something, a kid up to teenage years, anything I wanted would be immediately shut down by my parents, and they would not only to tell me no, they would actually scold me for asking. They would reprimand me for wanting and having desires that involve needing money in order to obtain it. And I understand because they were tired and exhausted from working so hard all day and having me ask for something that seemed so unimportant, you know? But I think it must have further added to the trauma of me being afraid to ask for more, especially when it came to wanting more from life and wanting more for myself, and even asking for how much, even when it came to putting a price on how much I think I was worth. Or not how much I was worth, but rather how much to price my products. I remember my first time experiencing something like that was in fashion school. I said I wanted to sell to high-end clients, and I priced my things at $300, $200, and they told me that high-end starts at least $1,000. The cheapest thing would be $600, so I was underpricing myself. And what they told me stuck to me. It never left. But I just couldn't fathom pricing my things that high. Because I thought, who am I to be pricing that high? Even though something I created would take weeks to create, to complete. And if something took me weeks and I was only charging $200, how am I going to pay the bills? I can't. So I think I should be raising my prices, actually. Now that I think of it, as I'm talking about this, the things I make in my shop are all handmade. They didn't take days to make. They took weeks to make. Are high-end because I handmade them from scratch. And they are very durable and well made. So, but I digress. I mean, I'm not digressing. I am talking about money in the end, aren't I? I'm sharing with you guys my relationship with money. So yeah, it led me to have such a discomfort. It's almost like it's like Judgment Day every time it came down to money talk. Walking into a high-end store made me feel like I had no place to belong in there. But the truth was, they don't know how much money I had or did not have at all. And there's plenty of people who are abundant with their finances but don't look like it. Not everyone who has money subscribes to, I don't even like that word. Not everyone who has money spends it in a way where they buy designer clothes and visually shows off that they are of wealth. You know, some people just save it and don't spend. They live a very minimalistic lifestyle. One celebrity I can think of from my understanding, what I know, what little I do know about this celebrity is, what's his face? From The Matrix. Oh my God, what's going on here? Oh man, the guy from Keanu Reeves. You know, he doesn't spend like crazy with the money he has. He just is very minimal. My first job working at a high-end retail store, it was so nerve-wracking to apply for it because I didn't think I deserved to be there. I felt like, who am I to be wanting to work at a high-end luxury clothing store that sold leather goods and prom dresses and cocktail dresses and dresses for galas and special events and red carpet events. But I applied anyways. I told myself, why not? Like, the worst thing that would happen is they would reject me and told me that I didn't meet the requirements and I can never work there. Like, there's no way I could work there. So I applied. I applied for a handful of other places, but I also applied for that. I was totally not expecting to get it, but I got hired. And it was so funny. Someone who had a lack-based mindset with money was surrounded with items that was average of $400 to $600. The leather jackets were like $1,000 and up. And I couldn't believe I was around it, you know. I would be a really great salesperson because I never had to look at the money. I love the design. Like, why do I like high-end things? I love the craftsmanship that went along with it, the quality, and I suppose the exclusivity that came along with high-end fashion. But I got hung up on being the teller to cash someone out. I choked up telling someone that their total was $6,000. And when they're like, what was it again? I hesitated because saying it, I choked on the amount when they make that easily. But I couldn't, I had a lack-based mindset, and that was where I became insecure. And so I couldn't look at the money. I could sell the clothes if I just focused on the beauty of the clothes, which is why I love this so much. But when it came to the numbers, that's where I got choked up. And that was where it became very, very evident that me and money weren't really the best of friends. All right, I'm back. What do you think? I think I look bomb.com. I'm really happy with how it came out. I have not curled my hair like this and forever. And it's very fun. Also with this much hair to curl. Here's my look. What do you think? So awkward. Yes, yes. Yes, yes, certain looks. Yes, 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 yes. Vogue, 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 Vogue. So, final thoughts about money. A thought I want to add here is there are a lot of people in this world that has opinions, but not many have actual knowledge or useful advice that is stemmed from wisdom to share with us. And I came to that realization this morning, actually, thinking about how I actually had a lot of discouragements from pursuing my crafts simply because I didn't have people believe in me. And with the knowledge they shared with me about why they didn't think I would go somewhere in life, or even like anyone would appreciate my art, all of it stemmed from their opinion, and they mistaken their opinion as truth and facts and a place from knowledge. Why do I say that? Because not a lot of people do thorough research before they take an information as fact and carry forward. There's not a lot of, sure, there's what is it called? There's the initial research, but there's no secondary, tertiary, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 1000th research about the same topic before coming to a conclusion. Most people kind of stop after the second or third, possibly. Not even third. I feel like I don't even want to give them that much credit. People don't really look that much into detail about things. They just take things for face value and they run with it. I'm mentioning this because I realize that a lot of the financial knowledge and financial wisdom I've gained over the years about money was simply based off of that, just that, opinions. And opinions that were actually thought on their end to be perceived as knowledge, which actually it was not knowledge at all. It was just a truth that came up in their head and they convinced themselves that it was knowledge and fact. So I learned that it's very important to do your research and don't come to any conclusions about anything, even from me. Anything I say to you, don't come to conclusion and don't just take it and run with it. Question it. Don't go and debate with me. I mean, you can. I probably won't even have the energy to debate with you. But question it and then do your own research. Maybe you might even discover something that I don't know. And then at that point, you can come back and let me know I was wrong. And that I would thank you for that because I love to learn. But yeah, when it came to money, that's essentially what happened. A lot of things I learned about money was an illusion. And a lot of things on how I perceived money and how people spent money was also a direct reflection of how they view their world. So example, things I learned would be when I started delving into sacred sexuality, which you can see over on my OnlyFans, by the way, 18 plus readings, I realized that, I never talked about the foundations. Oh my goodness. The 4 foundations that I found that was very crucial in life that you need to heal is sex, your relationship to sex and sexuality with yourself and with others, love, finance, and health. Love for others and love for yourself. Finance for yourself and finance for others. Health for yourself and health for others. you need to heal these 4 aspects of your life. If you avoid any one of these, it will most likely spill into those aspects. So example, something I learned from Sacred Sexuality. If you don't have strong confidence or a healthy dose of self-esteem within yourself, when you enter relationships romantically, you end up spending your money, your hard-earned money. You might have a lot of money, okay? You will spend all your money on the person because you feel that's how much you need to give to them to be enough, because you don't feel like you're enough. And because of that, your finance, whereas otherwise you would be abundant in finance, this place becomes stagnant, or maybe possibly even suffer because of your love life. But your love life bleeds into your sex life and sexuality, especially when it comes to romantic life. Or you might have friends and lovers, what's that word? Exploit you for your money. And you feel like the only way you can keep friends or lovers in your life is if you spent money on them, or that's all you're good for. That's an example. Another example would be health, right? If you don't value your health and you don't care about your body and how it looks, maybe you don't like how you look, but you don't want to look at it, so you eat to feel better. All your money goes to really poor practices like drinking excessively, eating really bad food excessively, overeating, maybe doing other recreational, I don't know, recreational or not, drugs or whatever to numb yourself. And your money goes into your health. It seeps in because your health is lacking. So these aspects are what I realized needs to be healed, and it's really important. And I want to continue talking about these moving forward with you guys. This is my realization about finance and my relationship with finance. The last thing I realized about money is that money is not more important than me, and it's not above me. Money is my servant. It's a means to an end. It helps me get from one place to another. I am the master. Without me, money has no purpose. Money does not move, it becomes stagnant. Through me, I give money a direction. I give money a action. I assign money the intention where it goes. Just as much as I have the intention of how much I choose to receive, I also set the intention of how much I choose to give. And so growing up as someone who is always taught and exposed to always giving, but feeling guilty or shamed or some sort of self-deprecating thought that I wasn't enough and I don't deserve enough and I can't possibly have more, I rejected receiving. So it became imbalanced. I was constantly giving, but never receiving. So I'm changing that now, slowly and steadily, and coming from a more open mindset rather than feeling like I have to fight tooth and nail to feel like I deserve to ask for like higher pay. Rather, I understand I want to ask for higher pay, and I'm also ready to meet the expectation of what that requires to earn that pay as well. Oh, another thing is money and value is not linear. Like you would think, oh, if you earn 20 an hour, you must be like a freaking math scientist. No, there's so many other jobs you can do that is of value that warrants for that amount of pay. For instance, educating someone, teaching, tutoring someone how to learn something personally, directly one-on-one tutoring. It's worth the value of $20 or even higher, up to $40 if you have certification. Something like that cannot be replaced because someone is literally one-on-one teaching you a language, a topic, math, history, and they are bringing you up to par. They're like mentoring you to their level that you otherwise cannot emulate on your own. that is also as valuable. But that may not be as difficult as someone who is doing intense physical labor in a construction site. But maybe for that person that does tutoring would find construction site harder. Whereas the person working on a construction site has the muscles and they think that's easier, versus if they were to tutor, that's more difficult because it's not their forte. So it really comes down to your strength, where your strengths are and where you can lean into that and how you can utilize it and place it in a position where someone values it enough to want to pay you the amount that you believe you want. That not you believe you want, this the value that you want and you believe you deserve. So, and what I mean by deserve is the amount of money you believe you can receive from a healthy standpoint and happily receive without resistance, and truly believe you earn it and you can have it without guilt. That's what I mean by deserve. But yeah, so that pretty much wraps up my get ready with me chit chat about my money trauma and what I've learned about money and how my relationship with money has progressed. Now, if you like my vibe, be sure to subscribe and join the family, the reversed harem, the cult, join the tribe. And if you want to get a personalized reading from me, or check out my clothing store, which by the way, the prices are going to start increasing moving forward with the new pieces, be sure to check out my website down at the description box below. And you can also see where the books and everything is at. If you liked what you listened to today or what you saw today, be sure to check out my other videos. So until then, thank you so much for your time. I certainly hope that this was of value to you and you got something out of it. I would absolutely love to hear your feedback. If there are other tidbits and nuggets about finance that I didn't mention or I didn't even think of that you want to share from your personal discoveries, I would love to know. And if there's anything else you would want to hear from me moving forward, what kind of content you want me to create, I would absolutely love to hear from you. With that being said, I love you so much and I appreciate you so much. I'll see you later. Bye.